Where I want this to fall on her face in relation to the bottom, and I don't really want it to be an equal half and half. Since it's a kind of a continuous line, I don't have to worry about that so much because only this one part of it is going to be half and half. That's something that's always going to be in flow. But I'm definitely thinking about where on her face I want it and where everything is in relation to the bottom to kind of keep that balance. And then as I kind of move around, so it's pretty solid and it's getting less and less solid as we move around here. So I did it pretty much zero elevation on the sides, and then as I was connecting the back, I was just sort of holding it out here and point cutting, and I just went lower, lower, lower as I was dropping my line down. Then when I got to the middle of the back, now I'm actually graduating that and sort of connecting it, or beveling and connecting it to the side. Another thing we could talk about is this little side of her fringe. I mean, most people have a little bit weaker density around the hairline, and so to create a sharp line there, you can just cut a short one. So I just looked a little bit more like this side before, right? Just a little bit kind of fine and messy. So you can just go right next to the skin there and just create a nice clean line. It looks a lot bulkier than leaving all the little hairs.
And what level was her hair?
So I knew someone was going to ask me that. They just did it on Tuesday. I think it's a 4. Yeah. 4. Yeah.
And it's a dark R-O-Y-O or just R-O?
I think it was deep O-R actually.
Okay.
Deep,
Just
deep,
no
dark
Y-O?
O-R. Just a little Y-O on the end because they were previously colored and they were already a little kind of round out, so I just wanted a little Y-O on that. She started out really all kind of what the back is under here, just pretty dark and purpley. So on Tuesday we did just some color cleanse on the top to get her a little bit more believable color for her.
And for those of you that haven't done hair color yet, color cleanse means when we did this haircut for the collection that's back in the back when we did Michaela, we also designed this shine line technique that you can't really tell in the picture because it looks like it could be a highlight from the lighting, but we actually colored the shine line into her hair. So do you see how on this part of it, it looks lighter and it comes across the fringe and then it comes up the weight line that goes horizontally across the side of her head? That's actually been lightened into her hair through panels all the way through in the middle of where we knew the highest part of that hair would be, where we knew the roundness would exist, and then we made sure that that was the lighter, brighter color. So we actually, I think we did it with lighter, and then I think we glazed over it with something oranger. But it's a really great thing to practice on when you have your bob like mannequin, or a bob mannequin works really great. Especially like if you have a fringe on a mannequin, you can practice that. And it's really, really simple. You take the first layer down, and you can make the first layer not have any color at all. It could be dark, but you have to start it fairly soon. And then you put the foil down, and then you put it down. And you can do it with just one foil. We practice a bunch of different ways. And this is where these brushes work really great because they're nice and precise.
Just got it long, not like that before.
Whenever you're doing a straight fringe like this, it's best to do it dry and it's best to section. I know I see a lot of you wearing fringe like this, so I'm sure you know how to do it. But if you do it all in one, you're just, unless you have really, really, really sharp shears and really fine hair, you tend to, as the hair moves, you get little sort of bumps on the edges. So I always, even, I mean, her hair is pretty fine, it's not a lot of density, but I always do it in sections and sort of lay one over. Just like you would, it's like a little mini bob. And you can kind of steady your hand, your shears on your hand. So I always put my hand here and raise my shears right against your skin and have my hand here like this.
Do you guys have any challenges covering non-pigmented hair? Sometimes I hear that. A lot of challenges covering non-pigmented hair. I know you don't get as many non-pigmented people in this area as maybe when I went to school, but that's all I did. But, so what's your challenge, Susan?
My problem is I had a gentleman come in and he wanted a dark N, but in his formula there was an RV in it, and he actually kind of liked it because then it had little like pink hues, like where his non-pigmented hair was. But it just, and he's the one that told me to do it, and I was like, all right. I don't know why that I just listened to this guy that doesn't do hair, and I did, and it turned out a mess. It didn't look really
What
nice.
level?
It was probably a 3 with dark RV, and it didn't. I thought like the white would really soak it up, so it would be like. Am I making any sense?
You have to continue. I mean, we don't have all the information yet.
So I thought like the gray hair would really just pick up the RV, and it would be like this really purpley color, and it would really stand off from his other hair, and it didn't. It actually looked pretty muddy. So would I would have to put an NN in there in order for that RV to stand out on it?
No, the solution, did everybody hear what the problem was? She has a guest come in, he directed her a little bit, sounds like she has not fairly even non-pigmented hair, but not that much, right? It's
Correct.
mostly dark hair, with some little white in there.
It was like salt and pepper, like
Yeah.
especially on the sides.
So what percentage?
I would probably say 20, 30.
So 20%, so not a lot, great. So he had RV put in his formula before,
Yeah.
so, and he knew that. So he was, and you know how sometimes at beauty school guests do learn their formulas because they're so worried that you guys are going to do something to them. So they
And he
think
seems
they're going
so
to take
confident.
responsibility themselves to learn the formula. So then they sometimes talk you into, so when your brain, and then you're thinking, why would I put RV on a guy that has 20% non-pigmented hair? And so she's saying the whole time, that doesn't sound like it makes that much sense, but I'll do it, because you're sort of telling me to do it. And then what happened? What did it look like?
It looked muddy.
Muddy. And define, what's that mean?
His
Muddy.
hair, like the gray hair that I toned RV, it didn't really stand out from the rest of his hair at all.
So was that was a bad thing for him?
Yeah, and it looked really flat. And I didn't know if it's because pigment
And you
hair
did
is
this
a
at a
hollow.
level 3? Well, I mean, I don't know exactly, and Sophia might be a good person to ask this too. But to me, if you're using permanent color, it's not designed to make the non-pigmented hairs look a different color than the dark hairs, right? Permanent color is designed to bring everything together. That's its job. So to me, if you wanted the non-pigmented hairs to pick up a tone, but the dark, and to stand away from the dark hairs still, I wouldn't be using full spectrum permanent hair
It's
color.
like DOCT.
I'd use
Only gonna do
DOCT.
something with the white
Because
hair.
then, and I'd be thinking only about the white hair. I'd be formulating just for the white hair because I'm not going to change the dark hair at all. I'm not going to make it darker if it's already at level 3, right? So then I only have to worry about the light hair. So that's what I think happened, because I think what happened was what was exactly what was supposed to happen is they came together. You didn't have enough RV in it to matter, and it's so dark you can't see it.